Hello, my name is Rationale. I'm doing this critical assignment for LAE4416 on the book On the Day You Were Born by Deborah Fraser. It's a wonderful book for the kindergarten level. It is a simple story that is relatable to every person that is alive right now. It has wonderful illustrations that support the text throughout the book and allow for the child to predict and inference what might happen and what the text is talking about through the illustrations. So for at the kindergarten level, when they're not reading yet, it can be really wonderful. It allows for a lot of interactive activities like drama, music, arts and crafts, projects, discussions, writing, and it's also very interdisciplinary. It covers 4 out of 6 of the Earth and space science standards for the kindergarten level, so it can be really used to branch out from that or to help support those standards in instruction as we get to them throughout the year. So, wonderful book, and we're going to read it now. So this is the start of the book talk, or the reading of the book. Who has ever thought about the day that they were born? Have any of your parents ever told you about it? All right, just raise your hands, please. I don't want you to tell me right now. I want you to think in your heads, even if you haven't thought about it before, about what it was like on the day that you were born. All right, so think quietly about it for a couple seconds. Now think about how that makes you feel. Think about the day that you were born and what it might have been like, okay? So I don't need anyone to tell me yet, all right? So keep that in your head and remember it and think about it as we read our book and afterwards for when we talk about the book, okay? Think about it. Keep it in your mind. All right. So let's get into our book now, okay, guys? On the Day You Were Born by Deborah Fraser. She writes, this book is for Mother Earth, who was born 4.5 billion years ago. On the eve of your birth, word of your coming passed from animal to animal. The reindeer told the Arctic terns, who told the humpback whales, who told the Pacific salmon, who told the monarch butterflies, who told the green turtles, who told the European eel, who told the busy garden warblers. And the marvelous news migrated worldwide. Everyone, all these animals must have heard about you guys coming when you were born. While you waited in darkness, tiny knees curled to chin, the earth and her creatures, with the sun and the moon, all moved in their places, each ready to greet you to the very first moment of the very first day that you arrived. On the day that you were born, the round planet Earth turned toward the morning sky, whirling past darkness and spinning the night into light. Who's that? Yeah, it's you guys. Well, each one of you when you were born. On the day that you were born, gravity's strong pull held you to the earth with the promise that you would never float away. Has Earth kept this promise? You're still here, right? You haven't floated away into space? No? Oh, okay. Then gravity has kept its promise, and so has the Earth. And you're not going anywhere. All right? While deep in space, the burning sun sent up towering flames, lighting your sky from dawn until dusk. What is dawn and what is dusk? Raise your hand, please. Yes, okay. Dawn is the morning time when the sun's just coming up, and dusk is at night when the sun is setting down, right? Okay, so what does that mean about the sun? Is the sun up during the day or during night, or both? Yes? That's right. It comes up during the day, but it goes back home at night. It goes back and hides. Okay. On the day that you were born, the quiet moon glowed and offered to bring a full, bright face each month to your windowsill. So what about the moon? Is the moon out at night or during the day? Yes. At night? But does it come out during the day too? Sometimes we see it during the day, right? But it's not as bright as it is at night. Okay. While high above the North Pole, Polaris, the glittering North Star, stood still, shining silver light into your night sky. Polaris is the brightest star in the sky. On the day that you were born, the moon pulled the ocean below, and wave by wave, a rising tide washed the beaches clean for your footprints. And while far out at sea, clouds swelled with water droplets sailed to shore on a wind and rained you a welcome across the earth's green lands. I know rain's doesn't seem too welcoming, right? But in this story it is, because it's cleansing and it's cleaning the earth and welcoming you with water, which we need. On the day you were born, a forest of tall trees collected the sun's light in their leaves, where, in silent mystery, they made oxygen for you to breathe. Yeah, you knew that? That the trees make the oxygen? Oh, good job. While close to your skin, as high as the sky, air rushed in and blew about, invisibly protecting you and all the living things on earth. On the day that you were born, the earth turned and the moon pulled, the sun flared, and then, with a push, you slipped out of the dark quiet where you suddenly could hear, with a circle of people singing with voices familiar and clear. Who might that be that's singing when you come into the earth? When you're finally born, who might be singing? Your family and friends, right? Because they're happy you're here, more happy than anything else in this book. Welcome to the spinning world, the people sang as they washed your new tiny hands. Welcome to the green earth, the people sang as they wrapped your wet, slippery body. And as they held you close, they whispered in your open, curving ear, "We are so glad that you've come." They're happy that you're here, huh? All right, so what did we think? Yeah? Now think about what we thought about before we read the book and how you thought the day that you were born went. How do you think that's changed now? And I don't need you to tell me yet. We're going to discuss it in just a couple minutes, okay? But think about it and how your feelings about the day that you were born has changed since then. All right. End book talk. So now we're going to get into the rationale part of this assignment. And throughout that book reading, Sipes' ideas of expressive engagement were tried to be incorporated throughout the book reading through using dramatization throughout the story, acting out the elements of nature, and allowing the children to do that as well. And also insertion was a major part because the child immediately assumes that role in the book because it is being read to them as if they are the person that is being born and it's the story of their birth. So insertion is a major one, and that allows for opening doors for the talking back and the controlling of the story, because in their minds, they might be thinking about, ooh, how did this compare to my idea of being born before reading this book, and how is that changing now, which helps us address our critical thinking strategies that were incorporated into this book reading. So one of those is exploring thoughts underlying feelings and feelings underlying thoughts. So that was addressed through questioning throughout the book, beforehand, opening to it. How do you feel about the day that you were born? And think about it and see how that makes you feel. And then to bring that up again during the book reading and address it again afterwards, and that can be maybe an opening for a discussion or for a writing prompt about the day that they were born and their special view on that, which is again going back to the expressive engagement of inserting themselves into the story and taking control of it, taking over to see how they can be imaginative and creative with manipulating the story to it being something that is personal to them. And that was another huge thing that SIPE addressed, was connecting the stories to the children's lives, which this book is wonderful for because it is about their lives. Well, it's about everyone's lives, but they make it about their lives. As well for the other critical thinking strategies, interdisciplinary connections is a huge one. It addresses 4 out of 6 of the Earth and space science standards for the kindergarten level. So going from day to night and helping them understand that, we go from day into night and then day comes back. That the moon comes out at night and the sun comes out during the day, but yet you can still see the moon during the day sometimes. That's 3 standards right there. And gravity is the other one, which they talk about gravity on the one page where they make the promise that gravity will keep you to the earth and won't let you float away. So that is a wonderful way of making those interdisciplinary connections in science and coming back to this book to address those things, or using this book as a point to go from to address those. And the last critical thinking strategy is making plausible inferences, predictions, and interpretations. So we ask the students through questioning to think about the day that they were born beforehand. So they're making their own interpretation of the day that they were born. And as they read the story, they recognize that that is changing as they incorporate the new information that they're learning or the ideas that they're getting from the book, which allows them to predict throughout the book, which we can allow them to do through questioning, which would have been more extensive and discussion more frequent if this were not just the book talk that I was doing in this video. We definitely delve deeper into that if it was an actual book reading and discussion in an actual classroom. And of course, inferencing, the pictures are wonderful for allowing them to inference, which I didn't really example that in the reading because of the time that it might take. And not having the actual students to respond, but the pictures are a wonderful tool that Fraser chose specifically to allow children to use them to figure it out. So, and make their own ideas about. So this is a very personal book. It can be connected to informational books, which I don't have any examples of now, but depending on what topic that you would want to choose from this book, say it were the sun or the moon or the North Star Polaris or trees producing oxygen, you could pair that with an informational book that could create an interdisciplinary integrated lesson that students could do a writing project on or make a song about or something like that. Another thing about Fraser is that she has some really wonderful books. Other than this one, there is A Birthday Cake is No Ordinary Cake, A Fabulous Fair Alphabet, The Incredible Water Show, Out of the Ocean, excuse me. So those are some of her other books, which also have wonderful illustrations and are great for children at this level and very interdisciplinary. A hook from the story that would definitely help grab the student's attention. I think it would be enough to be like, what was it like on the day that you were born? But while you waited in darkness, tiny knees curled to chin, the earth and her creatures, with the sun and the moon all moved in their places, each ready to greet you the very first moment of the very first day you arrived. I think that would be a hook that would definitely, if their attention was not already grabbed, to gain their attention in the start of the book, because they're going to be like, who, me? Like all of that happened on the day that I was born to welcome me. So it can also really be good for children with self-esteem issues because it encourages their, I am important. we already covered that the illustrations are essential to the understanding of the book, and they were created and put where they are purposefully to support the text in the book. So very, very important to the story, as well as the setting of this book. It's not a more specific place like a home or a city or a town, because the moral is that, you are a part of this whole entire earth, and it is a interconnected thing that is meant to support you and welcome you as a person and part of it. So the setting being Earth is completely necessary and extremely significant to what the moral of the story is. And if it were something less general, it would not portray that meaning as well. But even for the images like this, the person walking on the beach and the waves washing it away and the storm blowing in, it supports the details very much. While you're walking on the earth, the North Star glittering above, shining its bright light in darkness. So the moon in your windowsill, allows the children to inference and predict what that page might be about. It's a very wonderful book for that. So I think that covers everything that we were going to talk about. This is an amazing book for the younger children, and as they get a little bit older, can do quite a lot with it. But kindergarten is a wonderful challenge to see what conceptualized ideas that they have about it and what they can do with that, and how they can understand how their thoughts relate to their feelings, and how their interpretations and ideas about things change as you receive new information about it. So, On the Day You Were Born by Deborah Fraser, one of my favorites. I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day.